March 9, 1945, Northern Italy. The war was closing in on Germany, but in Italy the fighting was still brutal. The Germans were retreating north, burning bridges, blowing tunnels, and trying to slow the Allies inch by inch. Flying above this chaos was Lieutenant Marco "Eagle" Santos, a 21-year-old pilot of the 1st Brazilian Fighter Squadron, famous for its deadly P-47 Thunderbolts. His mission was simple: destroy any German transport heading toward the Po Valley. But what Marco found that morning was far from simple. While flying low over the countryside, he noticed smoke rising from a narrow valley. At first, he thought it was a farm burning. Then he saw it: a German convoy, dozens of trucks, racing toward the last standing bridge near the town of Modena. If they crossed it, they would escape into the mountains. If the Allies lost this bridge, the battlefront would shift, and thousands of Germans would be able to regroup. There was no time to think. Marco pushed the throttle forward and dove. His first burst of .50 caliber fire tore into the lead truck. It exploded in a cloud of fire. The convoy screeched to a stop, soldiers diving for cover. But Marco wasn't alone in the sky. A hidden German 20mm flak cannon opened fire from behind the bridge. Red traces ripped through the air, hammering the underside of his aircraft. One round smashed into his right wing. His P-47 shook violently, but Marco refused to pull away. He lined up again, this time aiming straight at the bridge. If he could destroy the crossing, the entire convoy would be trapped. He fired his rockets. 2 streaks of smoke shot downward, and the center of the bridge exploded in a massive flash of fire and dust. The Germans panicked. Trucks crashed into each other, engines smoking. Soldiers shouting as the only escape route disappeared before their eyes. But the flak cannon was still firing. Marco had one last idea: dangerous, stupid, desperate. He dove directly toward the flak gun, flying barely 100 feet above the ground. He squeezed the trigger and unleashed all 8 machine guns. The flak cannon vanished in a spray of sparks and dirt. Marco pulled up as hard as he could. His P-47 barely cleared the trees, smoke rising from its engine. One wing full of holes. He limped back to base, landing on a damaged landing gear that barely stayed intact. When he shut off the engine, his hands were still shaking. Later that evening, intelligence confirmed. Marco Santos single-handedly stopped an entire German convoy and prevented their escape across the Po Valley. For a mission expected to last 10 minutes, Marco's courage changed the entire front line.